NOLA Gent here. This episode, the OWA Amusement Park. Yeah!
Welcome to NOLA Gent. Let the good times roll. The park at OWA is located in Foley, Alabama, right next to Gulf Shores. And it's rather a large park in the area, and they have a lot of room to grow. Currently, the park mainly consists of the amusement park section and then what they refer to as the downtown, which looks a little bit like an actual downtown area, but is more of a shopping mall type environment. So we're going to start out by doing a tour of the downtown, and then we'll move into the amusement park. We just walked past the Groovy Goat, and I do have a video specifically on that, along with several other spots in the OWA that will be in a playlist at the end of this video. There's the Hershey's Chocolate Ice Cream and Candy Pavilion right there. And as we look around, we can see a few of the other businesses in the area. The park really doesn't have that many businesses still, but right here at the entrance of the park, right next to where you also enter the amusement park and the Groovy Goat, is probably the highest concentration of businesses currently. And the further you get away from this area, there are more empty buildings still awaiting tenants. There is a brand new Lucy's Retired Surfers Bar, and we have one of those in New Orleans. Lucy's Retired Surfer Bar had expanded to several other locations, but I think now there's only the New Orleans one and this brand new one at OWA still in operation. There's an Alvin's Island right across from Lucy's, and I think I prefer the ones on the beach, but hey, if you need to find some beach stuff here in the OWA, the Alvin's Island's a good place to look at. Once we get past Alvin's Island and Lucy's, things tend to get a little bit more deserted here. So you can see most of these buildings are empty. There's not a lot of businesses in this area. Hopefully they'll keep expanding and getting more businesses opening, but with the COVID-19 time, it certainly is not a good time to be opening a new business. The crowds certainly are not very present at the moment. Right here is the music stage area where they will have outdoor music shows, and this water fountain does have some special effects that'll have a little bit of entertaining right here we can look at in slow motion. So these different water spouts will go up at different heights and do little shows as they go up and down. So this is a little bit of a beautiful sight to see from this vantage point. You can see all the way to the end of the park at Paula Dean's right there. And this is certainly a nice little spot next to the water. You get a little cooler breeze, which after being inside the park where there's not as much cooling breeze, it's nice to get out here. That's a water fountain there too. For whatever reason, that's not turned on and working at the moment. And as we see, a lot more deserted buildings through here. So they do have a lot of room for new tenants to book space there. And then you're right there next to their waterfront. Now here is a bakery. This is new since the last time I walked down this way. And Auntie Anne's Pretzel Shop. I've never been in there either. Then we have the Trattoria, pizza and Italian food. I've never been in there either. Then we come up on some more additional abandoned buildings with no businesses around in this stretch here. So definitely OWA has some space to grow still. And they are talking for quite a while now about adding a casino and hotel, so hopefully that will come to pass. And then here's yet another business up here. This is Body Tune Plus, a jewelry store. And then you can see the OWA Theater straight ahead, which I have a video on, and then Paula Dean's Restaurant straight ahead. And those are both very nice venues. I'll have a link to my playlist for OWA at the end where you can watch videos on those. And they have a nice little parking area to the right over there too if you want to enter the park from this direction. So now we will jump back to the area next to the Groovy Goat and the park entrance. So as we look around here, you can see this is a lot busier than the other side of the park where we just were. And this is right where we walk up to get in line to buy our tickets. So there's not that many people here today, and the line is moving very fast and it's very short. So if we look at the ticket prices, general is $29.99, junior $24.99, senior $24.99, military $24.99, and non-rider $5. They were taking people's temperatures at the entrance gate. I'm going in as a non-rider today just to film this for all of you out there. So give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying this tour so far. So over to the left side of the park here is where more of the adult rides are. And to the right are where more of the baby children rides are for much younger children. So we're going to start off on the left-hand side initially, and then we'll explore the right-hand side for the little smaller children later. So then we have the roller coaster, which is the main attraction of the park right here. And if you look at the roller coaster from the distance, it's actually supposed to spell out OWA. So let's go straight to the Rollin' Thunder roller coaster and let you see how it goes. So you start out with a pretty steep ascent and you go down fast from there. So here it is from another angle, so you can see how it looks from this perspective. And the loop-de-loop, that would be the O of the OWA. And then they go on into the W part up there. And here we go again with another perspective of the loop-de-loop going off into the W part here. Here's the next section that they go through. And they do the loop to turn around and return to the origin point. And here's another perspective from the other side. The Twister is the first big ride you come to on the left-hand side of the park, and it swings around as it turns around. So people really seem to enjoy the spinning around and around as they turn around. So I don't know if you want to put people in that are not good with motion sickness or not in this one, but it does look like a lot of fun. And if you look right behind the Twister, you can see another roller coaster. That's a slower paced roller coaster that really a lot of small children can enjoy. One of my nephews likes to ride it, the other one refuses to ride it. So it'll just kind of vary based on the age and preference of the kid if they want to ride that one. We're going to take a look at that one right now. So the Crazy Mouse is a slower moving roller coaster that we will look at here. And you see that it's certainly far more gentle than the Rollin' Thunder big roller coaster we looked at previously. So most kids, I think, would be okay with riding this, other than maybe very young ones. There are some turns that they do in here that might scare some children though. So you just have to evaluate on an individual basis how it works for them. But as you can see, it's generally a pretty slow ride that doesn't have too many radical moves that it's doing for the most part. It's just kind of going around sort of like a mousetrap game. So it goes up a small incline and up again and then down again. So nothing too terrifying for the most part. And when it goes around, it has a little bit of a spin move right there. That might be the scariest thing it does. So right there with that blue car spinning, that's about the peak of excitement that happens in this ride here. So some people will like it, a few people might not. Check it out and see what your people think. The next ride, right next to Crazy Mouse, is the Mystic Mansion. It's a haunted house type tour. Again, one of my nephews loves this ride, the other one refused to do it, so try it out and see. Also right next to Crazy Mouse is the Alabama Whamma. So this is a pretty intense ride here. So you start out spinning and then it slowly is gonna lift you up more and more as you spin around faster and faster. So this again might be a little too intense for a lot of the younger kids out there. They do have size requirements for these rides as well, because you do need to sit properly within the seat for safety reasons. And also they will have to distribute weight properly, and sometimes they have to kind of rearrange people, take some people off, just depending on how the weight distribution is. So you see how it goes all the way up there. In front of the Alabama Slamma, we have the Carney Games area. So they do have the games that you would usually see in your local fair, so you can win some prizes if you are able to achieve these games of skill. I've never seen too many people play those. The next nearby ride is Air Racer, which spins around and around, faster and faster as the ride goes. This one looks pretty interesting, so you can get some good World War II dogfighting skill training out of this. Might be a flashback to my space camp time. The next ride is the Flying Carousel, and as the name implies, it is just like a carousel, except you are flying in the air in chairs, going round and round. There seems to be a theme here with lots of these rides spinning in circles, so that does seem to be a popular theme for rides. And you can also notice that most of these chairs are empty in this ride. Most of the people seem to come at night this time of year because it is really hot out here. So the park is virtually deserted, so there's not a lot of people. Next up is the Wave Rider. And this ride just simply looks like it spins around and goes up and down a ramp. This ride doesn't look all that exciting to me, but some people must like it. Next up, we have the Freedom Flyer, which seems to be very similar to the Flying Carousel, except it goes up way higher in the air. Now we're going back to the right side of the park to the smaller children's rides to look at the Sky Balloons ride. So this is probably the most radical ride for the children that are younger and smaller. And it's a pretty slow ride, and it goes up a little bit. Again, variation on a theme, just like the Flying Carousel before. And then we have the Southern Express, which is a little tiny baby roller coaster. And then they have a Teapot and the Teacup ride. And then another spin ride with the hang gliders here. And then we have another race car and circles ride. And right behind the race cars here is their water park. There were probably the most people running around in this little water park of any place in the children's area. Then another circle ride with airplanes, and another circle ride with frogs. Then we have a giant swing ride. My mom and nephews and sister like that one. Then a little truck ride where it goes around a track. And yet another circle ride with another propeller-driven sort of vehicle that goes around in circles. Many of these kid rides weren't even staffed as there were so few kids here. Now they do have plenty of refreshment stands like this for when people need a little food or drink. Then they have lots of seating areas for the adults or children that need to take a little break and get out of the hot, hot sun. So plenty of shaded areas under pavilions, along with some outdoor seating that also has umbrellas over it, but plenty of covered seating for the most part because it also frequently does rain here. So being out of the sun and the rain can be important, and they do have quite a lot of seating to take care of the people that need to take a rest with a long, hot day out here. You also can leave the park to go into a business and come back. They have a souvenir and gift store right here on your way out of the park. They also have lockers if you need to store things. So they have a lot of basic, simple things. And it's time to exit the park. That's right. As we find ourselves leaving the park, you can just look back and wonder how much you enjoyed this tour of the amusement park and the OWA downtown. And comment below and give any feedback about what else you would like to see.
Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you would just click on the little circle here with a picture of my head in there and subscribe to the NOLA channel, it would really help me a lot. I really appreciate it. Thank you.